Hello and welcome to the Three Techs. I'm your host. My name is Bob Fairbairn, and I'm joined this evening with my co-host Tony Tang. Good evening, Tony.
Hey Bob, how are you?
Not too bad, not too bad. Tonight we're going to cut the cord. That is the television cord. I was just looking back. It's about 20 years since I have had any form of cable television. How about you, Tony? Do you use cable TV or do you have some other method?
I used to have cable for the longest time, probably close to 20 years or more.
Mm-hmm.
And I have paid many thousands of dollars over those 20 years for that cable TV service.
Uh, yeah, I think it probably added up. We were on network television forever, and then we discovered TiVo, and life has changed since TiVo. So that's been a lot of fun.
Now, I had TiVo for a while, but I think I was using that with my cable TV service. Is that how you're using it, or how are you using your TiVo?
No, there's antenna on the roof, feeds down to a couple of TVs into a TiVo, and then we have three TVs in the house that are hooked up with TiVo. So there's a TiVo and two TiVo minis.
Oh, great. That sounds pretty cool. I
Yeah, it's
actually
pretty
got
nice.
something new recently, mainly because I saw this on Amazon Prime Day, and I kind of looked into the Amazon Fire TV stick as well as the Amazon Fire TV Recast DVR. Have you ever heard of that
Oh,
one?
okay. Just maybe a little bit. I didn't pay much attention to it because I've TiVo injected in my bones. And tell me about the Fire TV.
Yeah, I did love my TiVo that I had when I was using it for cable TV and so forth. And as I was looking to get another sort of over-the-air DVR recorder that would let me watch free TV and not have to pay a
Hmm.
subscription, I came across the Amazon Fire TV Recast. And
Okay.
normally it's about, depending on the version that you get, I got the 4-tuner version that has 1 terabyte of recording, which gives you about 150 hours worth of TV program that
Oh,
you
that's
can
good.
record. So this one costs about 280 US dollars, and they have
Okay.
another one that has 2 tuners, 500 gigabyte hard drive, which gives you about 75 hours of recording, and that one
Okay.
is normally $230. On
Okay.
Prime Day, however, these were deeply discounted, as are most Amazon products. So I went ahead and I picked up the 4-tuner 1 terabyte version.
Okay.
And in order to use the Amazon Fire TV Recast DVR, you also need to
Hmm.
have some sort of a player. Now, that
Okay.
is either a smart TV with the Amazon Fire app built in, or you can pick up one of the Amazon Fire Sticks.
Oh, okay. Okay. So that's your playback device.
Right.
Okay.
And those were, of
Right.
course, on sale as well during Amazon Prime Day. So I got my Amazon Fire TV Recast DVR, and I got a couple of Amazon Fire TV sticks. Here it is. So this is the Amazon Fire TV Recast DVR that I have sitting here. It's a little bit bigger than I thought it would be, Bob. It
Uh-huh.
measures about 7 inches by 7 inches square, and it's about 3 inches tall. So a lot
Yeah.
bigger than, say, like an Apple TV or something like that. But it's got a built-in hard drive, so it's recording and storing all of your over-the-air TV shows.
Probably a 3.5 inch hard drive.
Probably.
One of the things that's interesting about TiVo and somewhat of a problematic is they have a subscription service, and it's weird how they do it for their guide and all of that. Does Amazon have something similar, or how do you pick shows to record and stuff?
Yeah, that's a good question because most of the over-the-air antenna DVR systems that I saw online had some sort of subscription fee tied to them to get
Right.
that channel programming guide and so forth. They didn't necessarily charge a subscription fee to record the DVR service because that's all done
Right.
locally within the hardware. But the thing that attracted me to the Amazon Fire TV Recast is that there is no subscription fee. It's you buy it once
Oh,
and you get the channel programming guide for free.
okay.
That's what drew me into it, and I'd like to kind of walk through it for you and show you how it
Sure.
works.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's really interesting. Yeah.
Here's a little secret that I don't think many of our viewers may know, but you know those old TV antennas that you use for analog TV reception?
Yep. I know them well.
They work with digital TV broadcasts. You can plug it
Yes, they
in
do.
into your HD TV. You can plug it into over-the-air DVR like the Amazon Fire TV Recast. So here's a little tip for our viewers out there. If you own a home and you see this little metal wire thing up on your chimney or your roof, that is probably a TV antenna, right? It doesn't look like a
Yep.
satellite dish or anything solid like that, but it's kind of like got sticks and wires sticking out and so forth. So if you have one of those, you might want to investigate and see if that actually runs into your home somewhere that you can plug into, because
Yep.
if it does, you might just be able to plug that directly into something like the Amazon Fire TV Recast and get
Right.
free over-the-air digital TV program without having to pay any subscription fee. Now, what I've done
great.
for our little demo here is I've actually purchased one of those indoor TV antennas that you can find on Amazon, and they don't cost that much, right? They start at as low as I think $10 or $15,
Yeah.
somewhere in that range. And if you get amplified antennas, they cost a little bit more. But if you live fairly close to the broadcasting antenna in your metropolitan area, you might be able to get away with that. And if you can
Right.
position it high enough in your home, you might be able to get away with an indoor antenna. Otherwise, if you live a little further away or you don't have a clear line of sight, you may need to install an outdoor antenna.
I was just going to say, there's a website that can help you with that called Antenna Web. I don't know if you've ever investigated that.
I haven't used Antenna Web, Bob, but I've used this app called No Cable. And
Oh, really?
it
I haven't
uses
seen
your
that one.
location based on your smartphone. It's a free app. You download it.
Okay.
It uses your location, and it shows you where the actual antenna broadcasters are.
Okay.
And you can see
Okay.
how far away it is and what kind of a signal you might expect to get if you're indoor versus using an indoor amplified antenna versus using an outdoor antenna.
Okay.
So it's a great little app. It shows you which position to point your antenna as well, like north, south, east, west.
Use that compass on your phone.
Correct. So what I've done here is downloaded the free Fire TV app from the App Store. And this is what you would use to set up the Amazon Fire TV Recast. You can see at the bottom of it, Bob, there's a Setup Fire TV Recast US only. So it looks like it's only available in the US at the moment. So I'm going to tap that button. And what it's going to do is it's going to walk me through some various things on how to set up the antenna, how to plug it in, where to position it in my house. The first thing is that it tells me about parental control. So I can set up parental controls if I have kids in the house and want to limit what they can watch. It also tells me what I need before I can begin setting this up. So you need a Fire TV Recast unit. You need a indoor antenna, which is what I have hanging up there on the ceiling. And you also need a coax cable, which actually is attached to my antenna already. It also asks, what is your antenna's range? Now, if you don't know this, you don't have to worry about it. Just tap next. And now they're going to help find the ideal location for the antenna in your home.
Oh, that's nice.
The Fire TV Recast unit, it doesn't have to be next to your TV. You actually do not physically connect the Recast DVR to your TV. So you could put it anywhere in your home. It works off of Wi-Fi, or there's an Ethernet connection in the back, so you could wire it in and plug it in if you don't want to use Wi-Fi for it. Ideally, you want to put this in the highest level of your home, and if you're using an indoor antenna, you want to position it on a window. If you position it on the first floor of your home, the signal might be slightly blocked by trees and other things that are down low, so that's why it's important to get as high as possible in your home. And they also tell you how indoor antennas work best when you mount them on a window, which is glass. So they also mention how brick and concrete can cause problems, as well as metal walls. I would think if you have plaster with that wire mesh that's in there, one of those older homes, you don't want to put it on one of those walls. Okay, so I'm just going to tap next here. And the first step is to plug in your antenna. This is using that coax cable, which often is that twist-on screw connector. I've already connected that to the back of the Recast. And the next thing is that because it knows where I'm currently located, it's automatically recommending that I position my antenna facing south. And I'm going to tap I have mounted the antenna. And the next step is to just plug in the power to the Recast unit, which I've already done as well. And then it says wait for the LED in the front of the unit to pulse white, and which it is. So that indicates that it's booted up and that it's broadcasting its Wi-Fi signal and ready to be set up. I'm going to tap the light is pulsing white. And now It's telling me to go into the Settings app on my smartphone to switch over to the Amazon Recast Wi-Fi network. And I see the Wi-Fi connection here, Amazon. I'm going to connect to that. Once it connects, I'll switch back to the app, and the app will detect that the Wi-Fi is connected. And what it's going to do now is scan for Wi-Fi networks in my home and offer to connect to one of those networks. So I'll pick my network name, and then I will go ahead and paste in my password and tap join.
Okay.
And then the Fire TV Recast is going to connect to my home network, and then it's going to register itself, do any sort of software updates that it needs to, and it should be all set after that.
This is the Recast. Which Fire TV stick did you get?
I got the 4K Firestick TV.
Okay.
Because I figured it was on sale for Amazon Prime Day, and it wasn't that much more.
Cool.
It's also backwards compatible, so even though you buy a 4K Fire TV stick, you could use it with a regular HD TV. It doesn't have to be 4K. Right. Let's go ahead and scan for channels now.
This is hurry up and wait.
Yeah. All right, so it's found a bunch of channels here. You can see it's a whole list here. Once it's found all these channels, you just tap next, and you're done. You have over-the-air TV going into the Amazon Fire TV Recast, and it doesn't exactly show you a channel guide per se in a grid, but it does show you all of the shows that are currently on. And so now that I have my Amazon Fire TV Recast set up, I'm going to set up my Amazon Fire TV stick and get that going so I can actually watch over-the-air TV on my TV.
Cool.
All right, so I'll choose my language. It's searching for Wi-Fi networks in my home. I'm going to choose the first one there. Now I'm going to enter my password. All right, so now that I am connected to my Wi-Fi, I sign in with my Amazon account. So now that I'm signed into all that, we just continue. And it asks if I want to save my Wi-Fi password to Amazon to make it easier to set up Firestick TVs in the future. I'm going to choose no for the moment. And here's where you can enable parental controls. I'm going to just not enable them at the moment. It's preparing the remote for setup. This is where it's going to set up the remote to work with your TV to turn it on and off and control the volume.
Okay.
In this case, I've got a Vizio. So what I'm going to do is click next. It's going to play music. And then it's going to ask me to push the volume up-down button. You can see that it did adjust the volume there. So I'm going to tap yes. And now the remote is set up to control my TV. That was pretty easy.
Yeah.
It's asking me to set up my streaming services. Since we're not doing streaming here, we're just doing over-the-air TV. I'm going to say no thanks, but you can always set that up later if you do have subscriptions to things like Hulu or Netflix. And this is the Fire TV Stick home screen that you see right here. And you can see that you have various apps here for Netflix, Amazon Prime Video, YouTube, and other streaming services. If you go back to the top here, you can see Home, Live, Your Videos, DVR, movies, TV shows, etc. So you could go to the Live tab here, and the first thing that you would see are various subscription streaming services to watch live TV. That's not actually accessing the Recast DVR. In order to access that, you have to go to the bottom here to Channel Guide, or if you go back to the top, you'll notice that there's a tab for DVR. And this is essentially the Fire TV Recast DVR. So if I were to go down here as well, I could go to Channel Guide. And this is your traditional kind of channel guide that you would have on your cable or satellite TV. But these are all the over-the-air free channels that you're getting from your antenna. So I can scroll through this and you can kind of see what's on right now. You know, if I wanted to tune into one of these, I could select it. And remember, this is streaming over my home Wi-Fi, so it may take a couple seconds to buffer that. But now I'm essentially watching free over-the-air TV.
I like it.
Now I can go back to Channel Guide. Now, of course, you could also use Alexa. So, for example, I could say, Alexa, watch NBC. And then it would just simply tune to NBC. Now you could also say, Alexa, show the channel guide. And it brings you back to the channel guide. That's all being done using the remote that comes with the Fire TV stick. And there's a little microphone button here that you push and hold while you talk into it to send Alexa a command. It's not listening all the time. Unless you have maybe another Amazon accessory in your home, then you could use that to control your Fire TV stick.
Oh, okay. So you got a dot or something. Right. Got it.
Yeah.
It looks good. The user interface is, I think all of them don't have a great interface, but this doesn't look bad.
Yeah, I've spent a little bit of time with this, and the thing to note here is that it does stream in 720p resolution, so it's not full 1080p, even though the TV station might be broadcast using 1080. It's not actually streaming to your TV in 1080, it's 720. So if you think that's going to be a problem for you, you might want to reconsider and look at some other solutions out there.
Okay.
They do 720p so that you get a good streaming experience because it's going to go over your home Wi-Fi system. If they try to do something that's higher bit rate, it may not stream as reliably or as quickly when you try to change channels and so forth.
It has an Ethernet connection on the DVR, so you could hook it up to the Ethernet too to improve that.
Right. If you have your Fire TV Recast right next to your cable modem or your internet modem, you could just connect it directly to the back of that.
Lots of possibilities.
The other thing I want to note is that you could actually watch TV while you're away from home on your mobile device, on your phone or your tablet.
Oh, sure.
So as long as you have Wi-Fi or even a cellular connection, you could connect to the Recast DVR back home and stream out of your home network and watch live TV. So of course, because it's a DVR, you could also record shows. So let me push the option button here, the menu button, and you can go down and tap record. And you can see you could do this episode or full series. So let's do the full series just so you could see the different options there. All right. Recording scheduled for Wonders of Mexico. Great. You can also go into recording options and you could tell it to start the recording on time, which is the default setting, or you could go a little bit earlier. So if you want to make sure you don't miss any part of your show, you could go early. Of course, the downside to that is if you have overlapping times because you're starting one show early, another show might not be able to be recorded if you're, doing more than 2 or 4 at once, right?
Oh, yeah.
Based on the model that you get, if it's a 2-tuner or 4-tuner DVR.
Yes.
Same thing for when you want to stop recording. You could record a little bit longer. Recording a live show that might run longer, you might want to extend it a bit just to make sure you don't miss that. You could also protect the show. So if this is something that you want to make sure you keep, maybe it was a special event for you, maybe you were on TV and you want to keep it. So you could tell it to never delete because otherwise it will automatically overwrite the oldest shows and recordings or the ones that you've already watched.
Overall, it looks really interesting. It's something definitely worth investigating. The price on putting a package together here to watch on a couple of TVs and stuff is very attractive.
I mentioned that there's a 4-tuner version and also a 2-tuner version. So the difference between the two, of course, is obviously the number of tuners. That's the number of shows that you could record at once. Now, I want to point out this important difference here. So if I go down to the specifications for the Fire TV Recast, you'll notice that it does say 4 tuners, but transcoders for playback is only 2. So what that means is that you can only watch or play back up to 2 different things at a time in your home from the Recast DVR.
Okay.
Right? So you can't have 3 different shows being watched at the same time. You can only watch 2 different things.
Okay. I think we covered that one pretty well, Tony. That's a nice device.
It's a great option if you're looking for a solution to do free TV over the air. You just have to buy the hardware once and you don't have to pay any monthly fee.
We'd like to thank everyone for watching us again today. We look forward to seeing you next time on the 3 Techs. Ooh, it's on sale right now.
What is?
The Fire TV Recast.
Oh, is it? It's like
Yeah, 4 tuners,
how much is it?
209.
209.
209.99.
That's interesting because I have it here as 279.99. Maybe they know that you are looking at it and you don't have one yet, so they're offering you a deal.
Add to cart.